When consumed, people run the risk of insomnia, nervousness, restlessness, stomach aches, nausea, vomiting, increased heart and breathing rates, headaches, anxiety, agitation, ringing in the ears, increased cholesterol, and in some cases, even heart attack. What is the drug, you may ask? Coffee. More specifically, caffeine. According to Huffington Post, the average Americans consume 2.1 coffee drinks per day, and it increases with age. I'm here to argue for an alternative jumpstart to your day, yoga. S News journalist Courtney Holden raves with 282% growth rate over the past 10 years, yoga is America's fastest growing sport. Not only does it have benefits to your health, it also has benefits to your overall daily routine. Stated in USA Today article about yoga, yoga might improve quality of life, reduce stress, lower heart rate and blood pressure, help relieve anxiety, depression, insomnia, and improve overall physical fitness, strength, and flexibility. My claim of fact I'm arguing today is beginning your day with yoga instead of a morning cup of coffee yields better short and long-term effects. I will cover the cost benefits, accessibility benefits, the health benefits, and the overall habits yoga builds in comparison to those of coffee. Before I begin, I must make my intentions clear. As both an avid yogi and a coffee lover, I am not arguing for the end of all coffee consumption, but rather to shift to see that coffee is not the #1 option to start your day off right. Yoga is. For starters, yoga is a more accessible and affordable way than coffee to effectively eliminate and keep the morning haze away all day. Statistics show, according to the Huffington Post, that the average American spends $3.28 per coffee. Compare that to our 2.1 cups per person average. That's about $7 a day. Even at home, filters, grounds, and even worse, K-cups cost lots. Yoga at home costs nothing. Accessibility is endless. Yoga Journal collected statistics that show 43% of yogis practice at home. YouTube and a number of online instructions help with self-instruction. If that's not your thing, check the gym that you may already go to. They also provide yoga. Like here at the Brick, there are 10 yoga classes weekly. Yoga has the ability to relieve mental stress, while coffee often is an added stress. Physical activity releases endorphins that relieve stress. Think about your runner's high, very similar to the effects of yoga. Caffeine in coffee has a stressful effect on the body by creating substance dependency, otherwise known as addiction, as well as negative effects on your sleep schedule. Health research funding shows that it's believed that some 3 out of 4 regular caffeine users are actually addicted to the substance. We have all also experienced the inability to sleep that comes with drinking a cup of coffee. There is no such thing as a bad addiction to yoga. You won't have any side effects. If anything, yoga instructor Cheryl Lanata goes so far as to suggest that yoga has the ability to help your sleep schedule, to adjust your internal clock to wake on time every morning for your daily practice. So your internal clock shifts as you begin to exercise more. Rather than being affected by the caffeine, you are rather being boosted by the exercise. While caffeine only causes headaches, if you want to take that into consideration. Yoga also focuses on building mindfulness that allows for a clear head and a productive day. Mindfulness, according to Psychology Today, is a state of active, open attention on the present. When you're mindful, you observe your thoughts and feelings from a distance, without judging them good nor bad. Instead of letting your life pass you by, mindfulness means living in the moment, awakening in experience. Breathing techniques in yoga concentrate the mind on the simplicity of breathing, decreasing all other clutter. This breathing also allows for an oxygen boost that will carry on to a similar high as caffeine. Coffee consumers often argue that coffee aids productivity, but they fail to see the long-term crash and flood of adenosine, which for those of you who don't know, it's a very sciencey term. It's the sleep chemical that comes a few short hours after consumption. So, to tie it all together, save money, practice out of the comfort of your home, relieve stress, and ditch substance addiction while building mindfulness with yoga. So, roll out your mat and start building a more energetic, mindful, productive self.
You can sit down. It makes you feel like a target to stand there and hear comments. I'll get you in just a second here. That's okay, I don't need it. All right, Madison, the proposition was very clearly identified for us. The contents of the speech are previewed, but I thought you were rushing through them, and as I'm trying to make a note of what they were, the second and the third ones almost disappeared, and you're then diving into the start of the speech before I've even got some sense of where you're going. So I think you need to pace yourself a little bit. Also, in the body of the speech, I can see that there's a structure there, but I did not notice the distinct signposts that we talked about on those individual points. And it's often hidden because you're using evidence to make those transitions rather than also giving us some organizational structure to go along with the evidence. I think the strength of the argument is in the evidence that you present. You've got a lot of statistical data and factual information. You have quotes from the yogis and some scientists in terms of the effects on health, and you know, I like the quote trying to explain what mindfulness is. I still think it's a little bit vague, but the idea that there is something of value there, I thought was pretty well demonstrated. And you did a good job citing all of the sources you're presenting the material as well. The only thing about the presentation, I think, if I'm just listening to you, you're doing pretty well, even though you're reading a lot. But every time I look up, I notice that you're reading, because it's really, you're not connecting with the audience, and that's one of those things that would enhance your ethos quite a bit if you could do that more. And since it was 4 minutes and 45 seconds, I'm not quite sure why you were rushing so much. You could pace yourself a little bit more. Yeah, that's what happens. Anxiety kicks in. In my public speaking class, we talk about that. People will practice their speech at home a dozen times, and every time it was 6 minutes and 20 seconds, 5 minutes and 50 seconds. Then they get up there, give their speech, and it's 3.5 minutes because they just start talking faster. All right, thank you.